Denver prepares to spend $30 million to stop evictions, keep people from becoming homeless.
We have to figure out what else to do because there simply isn't enough money left.
A funeral home owner accused of improperly storing hundreds of bodies gets a much lower bond, despite talking openly about how to leave town to stay out of jail. New numbers show how Colorado is doing on its climate change goals. Not great. And the Mile High Home Raffle is preparing to do something it's never done before. Actually give away the home.
This year we are excited to offer a new structure for the raffle.
Amazing what a little investigative reporting can do. On Next. Denver is facing a wave of evictions that could throw thousands of people into homelessness. Nearly 13,000 households in Denver faced eviction last year. Advocates say it's the highest number in 15 years. Our Kelly Rinke looks at whether Denver's rental assistance fund may be short by about half.
Denver's focused on helping people living on the streets. Advocates worry homelessness will become reality for more families as the city gets more expensive.
Rent continued to go up by significant amounts throughout Colorado. Cost of living went up, and so we were as busy as we have ever been.
Melissa Mejia fights for tenants facing eviction. Her work at Community Economic Defense Project picked up in 2023 when fewer pandemic dollars were available for rent.
It was nearly 13,000 evictions for 2023. Which is a 15-year high. So we're not just talking about, some sort of rebound after all of these programs end. This is a true crisis.
She says in Denver County, 12,900 households were threatened with eviction last year. This record is why Denver set aside almost $30 million to help people pay rent in 2024.
That should help about half of the families that will need that money to prevent an eviction.
Mejia estimates to meet that demand, Denver will need $60 million.
To really stop all of the non-payment evictions in the city, yes.
So many families faced the threat of eviction last year, the city ran out of money for rental assistance. For 2024, Mejia expects her work won't slow down.
We have to make these investments in keeping families stable.
Denver opened applications for rental assistance this year on Tuesday. Since then, more than 600 applications have been poured in for this program. It's going to help with rent payments for up to 6 months as well as utilities.
So 13,000 eviction filings last year. How many actual evictions?
Yeah, they expect about 2/3 of households actually end up self-evicting to just avoid the process. So we're only talking about 1/3 of people that are able to stop that eviction.
Yeah, so it's people who don't want the eviction on their record,
Yep.
So they just get out, but they still have the chaos in their lives, whether they're going to a friend's couch or living in a car, finding a new place or whatever.
Yeah, regardless if they go through that process, the impact is still there.
Kelly Rinke, thank you. Today, a judge greatly reduced the bond for one of the funeral home owners accused of improperly storing hundreds of bodies. That despite the fact this guy talked openly about getting out of town, stay out of jail. John Halford and his wife, Carrie, are charged with abuse of corpses, theft, and money laundering. Investigators discovered 190 bodies that families believed had been cremated. The couple's bond was initially set at $2 million, but today, the judge lowered John Halford's bond to $100,000. Prosecutors said Halford, as a flight risk, said that the couple left Penrose, Colorado to go to Oklahoma to avoid arrest. They read text messages dating back years where Halford worried openly about going to jail.
On May 5th of 2020, the defendant texted, "I don't give a about this family. I'll give a about what's happening in Penrose and not going to prison and getting the out of this community. My one and only focus is keeping us out of jail."
The judge said that Halford's lack of a criminal history was the main reason for lowering his bond from $2 million to $100,000. Carrie Halford's bond is still set at $2 million. She's got a preliminary hearing next week, so listen in for more F-bombs from text messages. Colorado is the only state in the country that does not regulate funeral home workers. Given what happened there in Penrose and in another famous scandal in our state, our Aaron Adelson looks at how we got to this point.
How many more?
That is the question Danielle McCarthy keeps asking.
This has been allowed to run rampant for so long.
How many more families go to cremate or bury their loved one only for the funeral home to do something else? That's what happened to her.
We can do better. we have to do better.
Instead of performing cremations, the FBI says the Sunset Mesa Funeral Home in Montrose stole and sold about 800 bodies, including Danielle's late husband. Last fall at the Return to Nature Funeral Home in Penrose, law enforcement recovered nearly 200 bodies, which families thought were cremated or buried.
Sunset Mesa and Return to Nature are not anomalies. This is happening in the state because there is no regulation.
Right now, Colorado does not regulate the people who work in the funeral home industry. Nothing would stop the Penrose or Sunset Mesa owners from opening another funeral home.
But the recent events down in Penrose brought that to a head.
Joe Walsh leads the Colorado Funeral Directors Association.
We're in favor of licensure. We have nothing to hide. We don't think it's a bad thing.
His organization asked the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, or DORA, to consider if the industry needed regulation. DORA just finished its review, and at the end of a 51-page report concluded state lawmakers should regulate the industry.
It just told me that there's a lot of bad actors here in Colorado, and hopefully with licensure we're able to weed out a number of those bad actors.
Republican Representative Matt Soper plans to propose legislation with DORA's support that would require people working in the funeral industry to get a license. Soper and Walsh wonder what that means for people already in the field.
That's our biggest concern.
I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of really good funeral home practitioners working here in Colorado. We want to keep them in the industry. We definitely do not want them retiring or quitting or moving on. So we want to make it super easy for them to continue.
That's disappointing to hear. And I don't want to see anybody grandfathered in. I think they need to prove as a professional, you know what you're doing.
The details will get worked out at the state capitol, but these three agree it's time for Colorado to regulate funeral homes.
I'm hopeful, and those are two distinct words, not hopeful is one, but I am full of hope that something is done.
For Next, I'm Aaron Adelson.
As for the regulators themselves, DORA declined to answer our questions. They pointed to that ongoing criminal case out of Penrose. Colorado's business leaders are more optimistic than they've been in years, and they're less worried about a recession. So each quarter, Leeds Business School out of CU Boulder puts together a business confidence index. They track the expectations of business leaders for the state and national economy. Last month's survey found that Colorado's business leaders still have negative perceptions overall about the state and the national economy headed into this year, but they expect that both of them are going to improve in 2024. CU researchers say the business leaders feel better about Colorado's economy than the U.S. economy, and they're on track to improve their overall outlook to neutral for the first time in 2 years. Now, the reasons for the turnaround of confidence are kind of all over the place, according to the survey. That's a change from previous years when there tended to be consensus about the one big challenge, whether it was COVID or like the supply chain.
It was actually a little bit a sign of optimism to me reading these responses, is that there isn't one big thing that's a challenge for businesses right now. It seemed much more individualistic than it has in the past. And even when we took a look at responses that were describing interest rates or inflation, they weren't all pessimistic.
Business leaders were more negative about the idea of investing a lot in their operations this year. Researchers said that is no surprise given high interest rates. Colorado's last-minute property tax changes means that your tax bill may arrive later than usual. Don't be fooled, it's still due at the same time. State legislators gave counties an extra 2 weeks to sort out tax bills to align with the new tax policies that came during the special session. Some counties say that means that homeowners won't get their tax statements until mid-February. If you pay your taxes in halves instead of a lump sum in April, you still have to make that first payment by the end of February.
We wanted to enhance the experience for our raffle purchasers while still really raising critical funds for the 28,000 kids and teens that we serve.
AKA the Boys and Girls Club Dream Home Raffle got busted here for never actually giving away the home. So this year they're actually gonna give away a home. And Colorado's lofty emissions goals, they appear increasingly out of reach. That's next. The start of the new year means Colorado's creeping closer to self-imposed deadlines to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions. New numbers from the state predict that without immediate changes, we're going to fall way short. State law requires Colorado to reduce its emissions from the baseline of 2005's levels. It needs to have a 26% reduction by 2025, a 50% reduction by 2030, and net zero emissions by 2050. The state's Air Pollution Control Division predicts that the state is going to miss the short-term goals by a couple of years and will fall drastically short of the 2050 net zero goal. According to their modeling, which takes into account the policies that we have and the ones that are pending, the state's on track to reduce emissions by a maximum of 69% in 2050, rather than 100%. We're supposed to be there at net zero. Air quality regulators are asking legislators to force the oil and gas industry, as well as electric utilities, to reduce their emissions. They want to expand statewide public transit, and they want to incentivize more energy efficient construction. Lauren Robinson, we tried to incentivize the snow by hoping for it this week. Snow's coming. Snow might be coming. Might be coming. I feel like it's just been a trailing expectation game all week.
Yeah, the last few days I had been anticipating maybe trace amounts in Denver. Now I'm thinking maybe a few snowflakes if we're lucky. But the good news is we do still have several more chances throughout the week for more snow. Right now at DIA, we're dry but cloudy. Temperatures at 23 degrees. We have winds coming down from the north at 6 miles per hour, making it feel like 16 degrees out there. It's still very chilly, even if you don't have any snow overhead. Now, we take a look at our HD Doppler radar. The center of this system is further south. It's right over Albuquerque, and that's making just enough room for the southern half of the state to get the heavy snow. We are seeing some of these snowflakes lift north of the I-70 corridor, but they're very spotty and very light. The heavier stuff is still expected to fall further south. So this is where we do have our winter weather advisories. Off to the southwest, that's where the storm first approached. We do still have some lingering winter weather advisories for the San Juans until 11 o'clock this evening, but the system is mostly east, so southern portions of the Front Range and eastern plains can expect more snow. 2 to 5 inches expected across the wet mountains, 3 to 6 inches expected across the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And as the system moves eastward, it's really going to expand a bit across the eastern plains. So central portions of the plains are not only looking for a couple more inches of snow through tomorrow morning, we could also see some ice mixed with that. So you really want to be aware of possible hazardous travel across the plains tonight. For the rest of us, cloudy skies, lows near 24 degrees in Denver. Again, I don't think we get much, if any, snow in the Denver metro area. The heavier stuff is looking to fall further south and east, but that's not going to be our last chance. We have more snow chances tomorrow, still very light for Denver, but we have some widespread scattered snow showers. We get a bit of a break Saturday. We'll see another round come in late Sunday through Monday, another break Tuesday, and then a third round of snow expected late Wednesday through Thursday.
And then we have 2 beautiful grand prize homes available.
Cool. So what are the chances the Boys and Girls Club actually gives away a home in the home raffle this year? Because remember, Marshall Zellinger revealed that that well-known home raffle had never actually raffled off a home. The Colorado Supreme Court has been under attack lately in every sense of the word. Threats and angry rhetoric after their ruling that Donald Trump is an insurrectionist who should be off the ballot. And then that random physical attack. This guy's the suspect, apparently unrelated to the Trump case. Court spokesperson says it could take months to repair the damage after a man shot his way into the building and set a fire inside. There's significant water damage to several floors due to the firefighting effort. Police say it started with that guy getting into a car crash outside the building. Then he took a security guard's keys, got inside, shot out a window, started a fire. Could be weeks before employees can return to the building. The home raffle that has never given away a home in 15 years is back this year. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver never sold enough raffle tickets to hand over the keys to its grand prize home. But our reporting from last year appears to have changed your odds. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
The homes in this golden cul-de-sac near South Table Mountain are in the process of being built from the ground up. One of the duplexes is supposed to be given away in a raffle that is being renovated.
Last year, we got some extra attention. Some of that's thanks to your team, Marshall, and we really took it upon ourselves to listen to our ticket purchasers. And so This year, we've made some adjustments.
Lauren Cam with the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver explained the changes made to the nonprofit's Mile High Raffle home giveaway fundraiser that for 15 years has never given away a home.
We have 2 beautiful grand prize homes available.
Yeah, the Yet to Give Away a Home raffle now has 2 homes for a grand prize winner to choose from, and it required a significant rule change based on feedback from people who bought tickets.
They weren't necessarily happy with the ticket threshold, and so we took that into account.
It now takes fewer tickets sold to award a home. Last year, the threshold was 80,000, and the Boys and Girls Club only sold 50,000. Now, the threshold for the duplex will be 40,000 tickets.
The 40,000 ticket threshold is something that we've met consistently for the past 4 years.
If the raffle sells 70,000 tickets, the winner can choose the duplex or this home being built on this dirt lot near North Table Mountain. The potential to actually give away a home came with another change, getting rid of NZ Consulting, and the guy paid $4.7 million over 12 years to run a home raffle that never gave away a home.
Do you think it was a waste of money?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, all businesses that are good will learn how to adapt. They'll learn from history, and we're proud that we've done that.
The raffle is now being run primarily by Boys and Girls Club staff, and this version comes with more transparency, a tracker showing how many tickets have sold and how close the home raffle might be to giving away its first home.
Yes, we want to give you a dream house as one of the prizes, but we have other prizes too. And at the end of the day, it is a fundraiser and a critical revenue stream that supports the 28,000 kids and teens that rely on Boys and Girls Clubs every day.
No matter how many tickets are sold, the winner can choose $1.1 million. If 40,000 tickets are sold, the winner can choose the money or the duplex. And if 70,000 tickets are sold, the winner can choose the money, the duplex, or the other home in a soon-to-be-built gated community. Credit to the Boys and Girls Club for making the changes. It's a fundraiser that has earned $26 million for that nonprofit in 15 years. So if this enhances it, great.
Yeah. Again, not to be a pessimist, but you did say the home's not built yet.
They are not concerned that it's not going to be ready. They believe the homes will be built in time.
You get a dirt lot. No, that's not going to happen. The home's going to be built. I will say, as you said, credit to them for making changes to increase transparency and to actually hopefully live up to the billing of what it is, a dream home raffle. And credit to you for shining a spotlight on it, because I just always assumed they gave away a home, right? They're the dream home raffle.
And even though it is a home raffle, there's going to be a tax hit for anyone who wants that home. Yeah. You have to prove within 30 days of winning and choosing the home that you can afford the tax hit. Otherwise, you might just take the money instead.
We should go by that dirt lot every week and just check on the progress, just to cheer them on. Marshall, thank you. We're back with your feedback next. You get the final word here. Bruce writes in about Kelly Rinke's reporting about the number of evictions in Denver last year and what could be coming this year. Bruce says, Kyle, you know, many landlords and landlord associations predicted more evictions, not less, with Colorado's new tenant laws last year. That was adjusting income levels for some renters. You are, in fact, correct. That is what they predicted. MM says, hold on a second, this is one big sentence. I am glad, Kyle, that your propaganda you have injected into Colorado is now reaping what you have sowed and showing the natives how bad it is getting. The city is in chaos because of you and your news team bringing your left liberal ideas to this great state. You learned it here first. A local newscast is responsible for society's problems.